Now, just to give you guys an overview, I run a content marketing agency for the last 5 years, and we mainly use cold emails and cold DM as our only source of acquisition channels. Now, in this video, I'll be walking you through my cold emails, the back and forth conversation which I had with this prospect, the live sales calls, the follow-ups, how does the contract overview looks like, the payment structure, and then finally the onboarding call. Right. All right. So let's dive in. So this is the payment screenshot. Most of our clients are from US, so we accept payments on PayPal or Stripe. So we launched this campaign back in August, and this was my first cold email. Now what I've seen working best in this year is actually shorter emails, somewhere around 50 words, right? So no need for complications, just try to keep it short and direct to the point. The first line is going to be a personalized first line, then your second para is going to be a case study, then the soft call to action. For me, it looks something like this. Hey name, as a founder of fast growing coaching business, I'm sure you're always looking for put their pain points, blah, blah, blah. We recently helped, blah, 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 your case study, put your case study. Then the soft call to action, would you be opposed to discussing how we can help you do something similar? Now that's the first cold email. It's direct to the point to the prospect. Now next is the follow-up email. Now this is where you're going to expand on your offer. You're going to tell more about what you have to offer, how you can help them, right? Now meanwhile you are digging deep on your offer, how you can help them on do this or do that. Always remember to talk in monetary terms, right? Now the second para is going to be your guarantee. The third para is the hard call to action, right? This is how it looks like. Hey name, will help you, blah, blah, put your offerings, dig deep on your offerings, will help you generate XYZ in XYZ days, just like we helped for our client. We even guarantee XYZ in XYZ days, or you don't pay. Now then the third para is going to be your call to action. Would you be open for a quick call to discuss further? Now here's the thing which you're going to notice, right? The call to actions on the first email and on the second email is way different. On the first cold email, what we are trying to do is we are trying to initiate a conversation, right? Maybe like some things like, would you be opposed to discussing how we can help you do something similar? Or maybe something like, mind if I send you more info on how we helped one of our clients go from this to that. Just try to initiate a conversation. Just try to get a reply back from them, right? And then on the second email is a much more hard call to action, where we are actually pushing them to book a call with us. And we generally try to keep 3-step sequences. First being the actual cold email, and the second and third is the follow-up emails, right? Now, after the second email, we actually got a reply from our prospect. Hi Jay, how can I say no to an offer like that? Let me know about the next steps, right? So zooming out of the scenario, this is how the back and forth conversation between my team and the prospect looks like. Now, once we got a reply from our client, the next step for us is to send them more information on how we can help them. So as you can see, hey name, here's how we can help you, blah, blah, blah. Now, meanwhile, in the same email, try to keep the call to action as pushing them towards booking a call with you, right? In this case, we use Calendly. We use Calendly form and Calendly links. So then he moved forward, then the prospect moved forward, and he actually booked a call with us. The next is, hey name, I appreciate you filling out the Calendly form. I noticed your business is currently bringing in $5,000 to $10,000 a month. However, our service investment starts at $4,000 to $8,000 per month. Would that be a deal breaker for you, right? Now, this is a question I generally use to actually qualify the prospect before even coming on the call. And that's where you guys are going to see, don't waste your time on the call with the prospects who are not even qualified to buy your services. So that's what we are doing over here. We are actually qualifying the prospect in the first place before we even jump on a call with them, right? Then the client replied, then the prospect replied, scheduled for Wednesday chat, then depends on how the payments are structured, right? Then my team sent them the confirmation email. Hi name, thanks for using Calendly. See you at 11:80 Wednesday. Watch this quick 3-minute video showing how we will help you achieve this in this days. And then there's a link to a VSL. Now, this is a place where you are actually warming them up, right? You are sending them more resources. You are sending them more case studies on how you have helped your clients' channels grow. Then the next 21st of August, we actually had the sales call. So let's just dive in towards the sales call. Now, just to give you guys an overview, this is how I generally frame my call. right? The first few seconds is the meet and greet. I don't try to expand a lot on this. I quickly jump towards my next topic, which is setting up the agenda, right? Now, once you set up the agenda, then you're going to take over to the discovery session, right? We're going to ask them questions about their business, like what they do, how does the sales funnel looks like, everything according to your industry, right? And the next is I also qualify them on the call if they're ready to buy the services. And next, I'm going to transition towards showing how I can help them, right? And then the objections part, pricing part, the investment parts, everything going to take over, right? So that's the general framing of my sales call. Now let's get started with the actual transcript, with the actual video, right? So as I mentioned, the first few seconds is going to be the meet and greet. So let me quickly jump towards the meet and greet part. Is my voice audible?
Yeah, you sound great. Way better than most people. As a matter of fact, you're one of the only people who, like me, also has like a podcasting setup going. So good to see.
Exactly, mate. All right, so that was kind of meet and greet. Then I'll move forward towards the setting up the agenda. Absolutely. Exactly. All right, so let's dive in. Now, this is how we're going to move forward, right? First, I'm going to ask a few questions to see what systems are working inside of your business and what systems are not working inside of your business, right? And once I get the enough clarity to see if I can really help you with my offer, personal branding and lead generation expertise, then I'll go ahead and show you my offer, present you my offer, and we can move forward from there. Does that make sense?
Cool. Love it.
All right, so this is the script which you can follow for setting up the agenda. Now, here's the thing which I want you guys to consider, right? Never copy a script word to word in the sales call because it's not gonna come in handy and तुम बहुत ज़्यादा तुम robot जैसा sound करोगे अगर तुम कुछ भी चीज़ों को copy करने की कोशिश कर रहे हो. So go with the flow, go with your actual English language जिससे तुम flow में बात करते हो, right? जैसे तुम flow में बात करते हो वैसे बात करो, right? So tune it according to yourself. जैसा तुमने देखा मैंने इस script को मेरे हिसाब से tune किया है, right? So that's what you gotta do with yourself. So now moving forward with the discovery session, your goal in the discovery session is to get them open up, ask them open-ended questions, then dig deep on their answers. Now, meanwhile, give me a quick moment to open your website. In the meantime, could you share with me about your offer, who's your audience, what you do, and how does your sales funnel look like?
Yes, it depends on which website you want to open. You could just go to... it might make a little sense if I can walk you through the structure of what we do.
Absolutely.
Because realistically, people don't come and search for the websites. What they do is we rounded them all up in a newsletter, and then we pitch the offerings in the newsletter, right? So we were getting from various other social sites. Honestly, I used Quora. And this is how my framework looks like for a discovery session. I've got a list of questions which I ask from my prospect, right? But once they start to answer the set of questions, I always try to dig deep on their answers, right? So for example, let's take a scenario where your prospect is mentioning about, I had a bad experience when it comes to hiring agencies, right? So when you follow a framework, so you actually dig deep on their answers, right? And you start to ask more questions on their answers part, right? Like, tell me more about it. What do you think? Where do you think other agencies fucked up? Do you think this is the case with you? What they have to provide? Blah, blah, blah. You get the point, right? Ask them more probing questions. Ask them more open-ended questions when they start to answers, right? Questions like, tell me more. What do you mean when you say blah, blah, blah? Why do you say that's the biggest challenge? How has that impacted the business specifically? Now, vice versa, imagine a same case where you are following a script word by word, right? So यहाँ पे देखो, जब तुम एक script follow कर रहे हो, तुम्हारा ध्यान prospect के answers पे नहीं है, तुम्हारा ध्यान तुम्हारा next questions पूछने में, right? And this is where you are actually fucking up the sales call, right? This is a terrible way to lead a sales call, right? Because तुम्हारा ध्यान एक्चुअली सेल्स कॉल में है ही नहीं, तुम्हारा ध्यान है यहाँ पे जो स्क्रिप्ट लिखा हुआ है उसे पढ़ने में. एंड दिस इज अ टेरेबल वे, राइट? So instead, you try to act more like a human being by actually being present on the sales call and not having a script word by word. So for example, let's say you're talking to your mother, your children, your girlfriend, right? So when they share about the pain points, right? तो तुम वहाँ अपना next question नहीं पूछोगे, right? You will be actually digging deep on their answer. तुम पूछोगे क्या हुआ, what happened, tell me more about it, right?
And that's how a real sales call should also go, right? A human being always try to show empathy, but एक robot क्या करेगा? वो script पढ़ेगा. वो script पढ़ेगा कि what's my next question? वो next question पूछने पे ध्यान देगा, right? So let's come back to the sales call, guys, right? So 7 minutes, from 7 minutes to 21 minutes, this is where I was actually digging deep on his answers. I was getting to know more about him, his business challenges, vagara vagara, etc. Right now, so from 21 minutes, this is where you're gonna see me following a consultative approach instead of just being like a sales guy, right? So if your prospect asks a few questions about how to solve this or that, right, the next thing you're gonna do is try to follow a consultative approach. You tell them what to do on solving the problem, but you don't tell them how to do it, right? And that's what you guys gonna see over here. Absolutely, you have already a great background, right? You have a mic set up, just record a video on what you do, how you do in an overview perspective, and some of the client video testimonials bringing in. That's it. That's what generally a VSL is, right? And you talk about the offer, what offer you have, how many people are converting, how much people are making. If you can talk about those things, right, in literal terms of money, then it would be good, right? That's the VSL, that's it. And moving forward to the VSL, next one more important thing which you should have is the video testimonials from your students or your clients, right? Just 3 testimonials, that would be great. They were living this kind of life, then after investing in you, they are right now over here, they are having a much secured life, things like those, right? You get the whole point.
Right. Yeah, I don't know how much I can do on those. I definitely have like a lot of like written testimonials with screenshots, people saying things, blah, blah, blah. Like we got a bunch of really good info, and we have info like feedback specifically on various courses too. So we definitely have all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That could work.
Okay.
And that's the website info, right? And the next thing which you would set up is the email newsletter, right?
Right. Yep. So I have one of those. We work with Active Campaign because that allows us to do all kinds of campaigns and sequences and whatever else and monitor everything.
Exactly. That makes sense. Active Campaign. All right. Perfect. Now, I do need to get back to you on this one topic. You mentioned that you were doing, you were having great results with SEO, right? So is it only from Quora you mentioned regarding the SEO?
We didn't do any SEO content, really. It was just posting stuff on Quora. People liked it. I just had a link if they liked the article down there, join our newsletter for free. And then the newsletter, which we run through Active Campaign, pitches shit. We can link right out to Patreon. We can embed videos. We can have a whole email sequence if they want. We can do whatever we want. So the idea was just have that out there and bring them in. Now, there's a few ways to do like different sorts of things, like how to set this up, but that's all we were doing to begin with. I started as a professor, and I accidentally.
All right, so from 24 timestamp to 30 timestamp, this is where I was actually digging deep, much more on the answer side, just like I explained you guys, right? The next thing from 30 is where I was asking him much more qualifying question, and that's what you're gonna see over here.
It's
see how the lead magnets, it just needs to be assembled in one place, right?
Yep.
But perfect. What do you think, and how much time it would take you and your team to complete all of the setup for the academy, completing the website, then the landing page, then the email newsletter, and then the lead magnet setup?
I'm not sure. I am not sure. Unfortunately, like Dushan, who's working on the website stuff, it's sort of hard. I don't have, here's the thing. I need to offload most of this because I'm the bottleneck, right? I have a hedge fund to run. I don't have a lot of time. And so I am looking at, that's why I'm here, is I'm looking at handing it off to somebody. I don't really judge.
Exactly. Now, this is where he actually gave an objection. He doesn't have the time to do all of these stuffs, right? Now, that's what I was doing. I was digging deep more on his answers. I was digging deep on the qualification side, on the answer side, right? When he said he doesn't have time to do all of this, does your team have the time to complete all of these things, right? Does your team can take care of your websites? If we give a consultation on the website part, the landing page part, on all of those parts, then can your team do it? And then he replied, yes, my team can actually do it. And that's what happened eventually, right? He didn't took care of the websites, the landing page, lead magnets, but his team can actually do it for him. So that's the thing. If you can actually being present on the sales call, तुम सुन सकते हो कि बंदा बोल क्या रहा है, right? And जब तुम सुनोगे बंदा बोल क्या रहा है sales call पे, तब तुम अपना answer दे पाओगे, right? वरना तुम क्या करोगे? अपना next question पे move forward कर जाओगे, right? And that's where you're fucking up, right? So that's what I did from 31 timestamp to 39. We were actually discussing all of these possibilities, how his team can take over the load, right? And now let's move forward. And if you go ahead and take a look at the webinar, he does a lot of webinars for conversion, right? So this is how it works for him. Everybody has their own funnels, right? If you take a look at funnel, the guy I was talking about, he has a 2-week free trial on the upfront to get the leads in, right? Then he also has a newsletter, right? So I'll give you a little bit context on what was happening, right? So the prospect asked what was currently working in the industry, what are the strategies which are working in the industry, right? And that's what I was trying to show him in the call, right? What are the strategies which are actually working right now, right? What are the sales funnel which is actually working right now in the industry, right? And that's where you actually follow more a consultative approach on the sales call, right? All right, so now moving forward till 39 minutes into the conversation, I was just asking him the questions. It was much more like an open discovery session, right? And then after 39 minutes, I'll be transitioning towards showing him what my services looks like, right? And here's the thing which I'm going to recommend you guys, right? Instead of telling them how you can help them with your services, show them, right? Walk them through your case studies, your Google Doc, your live client accounts, right? Show them, literally share your screen, your Google Doc, and show them visually how you can help them, right? By being actually transparent and sharing your client's account. Of course, take the permission from clients if you're sharing client's account, right? But that's the thing. Show them, right? And that's what you're going to see I was doing over here. Perfect. I got your model and everything. Now, if you allow me, I will share with you some of our clients, what we do, right? And share the presentation, right? So let me quickly pull up this one. This is one of our clients. Have you ever heard of him?
No.
Okay. He runs a YouTube channel, over 100,000 subscribers, and with it, he also runs a coaching program, right, for day traders, right?
Cool.
And his demographic is also pretty similar. It's just that he's selling to the ones who are above 40, right, and who are doing day trading as a side hustle, and of course, doing a day job on their own, right? So for the next 10 minutes, that's what I was showing. From 39 timestamp to 50 minutes, that's what I was showing about my services, how I can actually help him through live client accounts, right? Now jumping towards 50-minute timestamp. Now, after you shared your live demonstration, I recommend you guys to ask this one question, right? Which is, do you see yourself using the same strategy and growing your business to X revenue? Now, the chances are, if they are been with you till now, they will say yes, right? Now, ask them why, right? Now, when they're explaining to you why, this is a place where they're actually selling to themselves, right? On why they should be considering your services, right? Right. This is how a sales funnel looks like. Do you have any questions on the back end?
No, that looks great. And that's totally different from what I was doing and what other people have. I've had tons of people are like, hey, I'll manage like just whatever, like an ad system for you, which I was like, fine, maybe we'll look at that. But that, I don't know. I tend to, I think that just doesn't convert as well, typically. So
here's the thing with ad. And that's how the conversation went, right? Now, moving forward to the sales conversation, handle the objections if they might have. Now, one thing, make sure that you have always handled all the objections before you move forward to the pricing section, right? Because the last thing which you're going to be concerned is just the pricing thing, right? Not something else. So handle all the objections well before you move forward to your pricing, before you reveal your pricing. So now from 1 hour, 13-minute timestamp, I was going to tell you more about the pricing section, the investment sections and all. Perfect. So it's $15,000 for 6 months contract and $7,500 for 3 months contract, and three if you do wish to move forward on a monthly basis, then it's gonna be $3,000 per month. But we generally recommend 3 months plan.
Okay. Yeah, that's not a problem. Yeah, so send me the pricing data or the pricing costs for that too. Because mostly that's just going to be about budget, and I'm not the budget person, so I could say I like this thing, and then it goes to Jordan, who's the CFO, and then he tells me, okay, this is how it goes into the budget. I make the decision yes or no, and then he figures out how to change the stuff. So I'll just need pricing data to pass off.
Absolutely. Makes sense. Now, moving forward, here's an important thing for you guys to consider. Never try to force them to buy on the first call if they're an outbound prospect. Exceptions are there when they are an inbound prospect. But when it comes to outbound prospect, 90% of the time, they're not going to buy in the first sales call, right? And if you try to actually push them to buy, you're going to sound like much more desperate, right? And this is where you're going to lose your authority. So if they say they need some time, they need to talk to their wife, they need to talk to someone, reschedule the meeting for the next week. And that's what you're going to see me doing over here. This is what we could do. We could jump on another call for reviewing contracts sometimes next week, right? Maybe next week. We could jump on another call and review the contract, which I have, right? We'll mention everything regarding the consultation, which we will provide regarding the emails and the landing page, right? Well, tell your team if you could get us connect with the team on Slack or Discord or Skype, right? Anything could work. And then we could send you everything on the, we do the consultation on Zoom. My team will send you the checklist, what to do, what not to do, how to do it, everything.
Cool. Yeah, let's do that. I'll just need to put part of my team members in. So Dushan.
That's it. That's how the sales conversation went, guys. That's it from the sales call. And then I'll move forward with scheduling another call with him after a week where I'll walk him through the contract overview and then collect the payment, right? So that's it, guys. That's how the sales conversation went. Now I'll move forward with the back and forth conversation we had, right? So now, as you can see, if I scroll up a bit, on 21st of August, we had our first meeting, right? Then I just greeted him with a simple text, hey name, it was great speaking with you today. I have rescheduled our meeting for August 28 at 11:80. Looking forward to it. Talks, and that's it, right? Now the next meeting was scheduled for August 28, right? Now this is what I recommend you guys to further warm up the prospects and get them even on a more excited stage, right? Now this is something which me or my team will always take care of, is to send a case study or a resource a day before the meeting date, right? So this is how it looks like. Hey name, quick win update. One of my clients just enrolled an $8,000 student for his annual coaching membership yesterday as a result of our work this past week. And then it was some kind of screenshot for $8,000, right? And this was sent on August 27, right? So you do this to even further warm them up, right? So they're going to believe in your process much more. You're going to send as much valuable resources as you can before the meeting date, right? Before the follow-up call. And then the reply came from the prospect, hi Jay, great news, looking forward to the chat tomorrow, right? Then after 27th of August, I believe we had a meeting on 28th. So the reply came from the prospect, I won't be able to make this call today. I've been double booked. Somehow could we do a follow call? Or so right, I think we rescheduled the call, right? Hi name, I penciled this and same time tomorrow. Let me know if that's okay. You need, I'm waiting. So the call was rescheduled for August 29, and then you can go through the conversations over here. Yeah, so in August 29, I took the follow-up call, and this is where I was reviewing the contract. I showed him the contract and everything. We went through the contract, and I was supposed to take payment, but something came up. He needed much more time to review other things and also to set up his landing pages and other things, right? So we sent the contract link, right? Now you can go through the conversation, right? The August 30 was, I sent the contract link. The September 4th was... I did a follow-up with him on September 6th. Again, I did a follow-up with him right? You can go through the conversation. The September 7th, I believe we got a reply from him, right? Hi Jay, well, we are waiting on legal to give us the okay. We have a plan now. Here's what we need to do now. This is the place where I believe I got an objection. So you can see on September 9th, I cleared that objection. I replied with the objection, GM name. I totally get your concerns about the statements. Just to let you know, I've pulled together all the dates, blah, blah, blah. So that was clearing the objections, right? Now, after September 9, there was more follow-ups going on, but then you can see the reply came on September 17th, right? Hi, yeah, the document isn't opening for some reason, resend, right? Then I resend you can go through the conversation, guys, right? ऐसा कुछ नहीं है जो मुझे बोलने की ज़रूरत है, right? But the one thing which is very important for you guys to consider is always try to send the contract with these kind of softwares like PandaDoc or DocuSign. Don't try to fuck up with Google Docs, right? Because these softwares have a kind of system where they send the notifications automatically, right? And this is where you can't do manual follow-ups for too long, right? Because agar tum bar follow up kar rahe ho, then you're gonna come in a desperate situation, right? So have these kind of software set up, PandaDoc or DocuSign. It's not too much, $10 या $25 per month है, but it's worth it. नाउ मूविंग फॉरवर्ड, बंदे ने पैंडाडॉक जो ईमेल्स भेज रहा था प्रॉस्पेक्ट को, बंदे ने उसका रिप्लाई किया, राइट? एंड देन ऑन October 8 he replied again, hey Jay, good news, we are cleared by legal to start the process. Bad news, the document has it's starting. Then you can read through the conversations, more conversations, right? So on October 9 he actually signed the contract, right? You can go through the conversation, right? Hello Jay, we have signed the document. You can go through the further conversation. And then on October 20 he actually paid with PayPal, right, for $7,500 for 3 months contract, right? Now here's the interesting part, right? After the payment is taken care of, we had an onboarding call, right? And on the onboarding call we again upselled him for $2,500 per month. And this is what I want you guys to understand, right? तुम्हें upsell नहीं करना है सर्विस डिलीवरी के बाद, 1 महीना बाद, 2 महीना बाद, no, तुम्हें अपसेल करना है राइट ऑन द ऑनबोर्डिंग कॉल, बिकॉज दैट्स द प्रीशियस मोमेंट यू हैव विद योरसेल्फ वेयर prospects takes 100%, जहाँ पे वो तुम पे 100% बिलीव करते हैं, राइट? एंड दैट्स वेयर यू अपसेल हिम, एंड वी अपसेल हिम फॉर $2,500 per month for new services, right? So you can go through the conversation, right? Hi name, during our onboarding call with name, today we agreed to issue a new invoice for YouTube long form videos, and then the client paid. And then the client paid for $2,500 per month, right? And then you can move through the conversations, right? So that was the back and forth conversation. Yeah. So now let me get back to you with the contract. All right. So this is how the contract looks like. It's nothing like 42, 40, 30, 40 page ka contract. It's just one pager contract, simple and direct to the point. That's it, right? The first is your company logo and everything, right? Then you provide your summary. And this was in PandaDoc, right? As you can see. And then timeline and services rendered summary, and then you move forward with the contract execution, service commencement, then the contract length, guarantee, stipulations, payment, and then of course the signatures, right? And that's it, just a one pager contract. Now here's the templatized version of the contract, right? I believe it was taken from Alex Berman, right? So the credit goes to him. Your company name, then the summary, then all of the services rendered and in the timeline way, right? And then the contract length, payment, signatures, vagara vagara. That's it, right? All right, guys. So that's it from my end. I hope I have given you guys the confidence to close more than $1,000 per month contract on the sales calls, right? Now, before moving forward, here's the conclusion, guys, right? If you take a look at the timeline, right? It's been actually more than 3 months for the contract to sign and the payment to take care of, right? So like अगस्त को हमने कोल्ड ईमेल भेजा, अगस्त, सितंबर, अक्टूबर, एंड देन October 20 को बंदे का पेमेंट आया, राइट? सो इट वाज लाइक 3 months, राइट? एंड दैट्स व्हाट आई वांट यू गाइस टू अंडरस्टैंड, राइट? थिंग्स टेक्स टाइम, सेल्स टेक्स टाइम, सेटिंग अप एवरीथिंग टेक्स टाइम. ये हवा में नहीं चल रहा है कि वहनचोद एक दिन में तुमने कोल्ड ईमेल भेजा एंड देन अगला दिन तुम्हारे पास सेल्स आ गया, राइट? दिस इज नॉट समथिंग लाइक अ मैजिक, राइट? इट टेक्स टाइम, एंड इफ यू गिव द प्रोसेस द टाइम इट रिक्वायर्स, राइट, चीज़ें होंगी, राइट? You just need to follow up. Alright, so that's it from my side, guys. Subscribe to this channel. I'll be posting, as I mentioned, I'll be posting more content soon, once per week, right? And come and follow me on Instagram. I share more detailed insights on my Instagram stories. Also, if you want my sales framework doc where I have covered everything in much more depth, then DM me sales on Instagram and I'll send you the doc over there. Chalo, bye guys.